Hi everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself world, and some of you may already recognize my guest, MotherOfManyHorses. I know her mostly from the comments, but I've seen some of your videos.
Thank you.
And some of you already follow her and have seen her videos, and if you haven't, go check out MotherOfManyHorses on YouTube.
A good laugh.
Yeah. Well, we have been hanging out for the last couple days. Her family's in the background, my family's in the background. And we've just been visiting, and we haven't done a lot of video. We haven't done any video. We tried. This morning they came over and Chris and I were cutting some wood, but then we tried to get the camper jacked up, but that is not working with the tools we have.
No, we tried. We tried really hard.
But we were going to try to, I figured, well, there's a lot of people here, extra hands, we were going to try to get that camper up in the air and up on the trailer, but that is just not happening. The jack on the one side has been demolished from the accident. The other two jacks are good, but because you have to get that camper up off the ground in order to get those jacks straight up and down to be able to work, I'm having problems because the other side has nothing.
Yeah.
So we tried lifting up with a cherry picker the one side of the camper and got the jacks down. But when we went to the other side of the camper, there was too much pressure to push against it's too much leverage against it, working against it. We couldn't. It was pulling the cherry picker into the camper, and it was going to drive the arm of the cherry picker through the window, which I didn't like the idea of that.
No.
So
I'm only the one point to work from.
Yeah.
It's really.
And hydraulic jacks are just not going to extend high enough or be, I think, stable enough. Because it would be a tiny pressure point of thousands of pounds, or not hundreds of pounds, on one little point.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's we're probably going to get another cherry picker out here, rent one, borrow one, and then work that thing up until we can get the jacks under it, the original jacks. But thank you for trying. And
yeah, I gave it our best effort.
Yeah. So that didn't turn out, but we tried, and we had a good visit. 2 days. 2 days?
Yeah, I was doing a really good job keeping you away from your work.
That's fine. I was really exhausted from the chainsaw work. As I said the other day, still hurts when you're using the cheap chainsaws, the cheap stuff that vibrates really bad. There's a big difference between that and a Husqvarna.
Oh yes, and when you have a tool that vibrates like that, you feel it. You feel it in your whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning I was using a Husqvarna. Should have had the camera out. We felled a few trees and started cutting things up, clearing a little bit more space out here. But that tool is nice. It is really, really smooth. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't wear you out. It doesn't vibrate. And it's really lightweight.
And you wouldn't let me play with it.
We didn't ask.
Oh.
Actually,
I didn't know I had to ask. Okay.
Actually, I'd have never heard the end of it if you went back to your own channel missing a leg or something and say, "Oh, this happened at the Do-It-Yourself world." I'll never hear that.
Well, I don't think I would have been the one missing a leg. Maybe you.
I got protective gear.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I wasn't wearing it.
Shh, I thought we weren't going to say that.
Nope, I didn't hear that. Anyway. No,
yeah,
so,
well, we had a really nice visit. We had a great time.
yeah, I'm happy it came out. So we don't live too terribly far away as things go United States wise.
Yeah, no, you're definitely a shorter trip than the one that I had hoped to make, earlier in the year. But that trip didn't happen, so you're a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about your channel and your videos. What do you do? For those who don't know MotherOfManyHorses.
Well, right now, the main focus is the horses. There was chickens in my videos before, but I did explain in one of my other videos that for reasons out of my control, I no longer have the chickens. I'm hoping that that's a temporary situation, but I don't know when there will be more chickens in my life. Hopefully within a year or two, I'm hoping, but who knows? It all depends. So right now the focus is the horses. I'm training one horse for my friend Libby. Her full name is Liberty's First Lady, black and white warm blood. And of course there's my goofball Honey. I torture anybody that comes to visit, and I throw on honey and let her, torment them. And if I have time, I'm also training another one of my friend's horses, Libby's father, who can no longer be a father, so don't worry about it. It's just a matter of time. I'm very busy with work and trying to sort out stuff at home and whatnot. So, it's just when I have time with the horses.
Well, a little bit of a teaser. What's your future videos going to be like?
I am hoping that at some point there will be more towards a homesteading type of venue.
Mm-hmm.
But, these things take time. I did post a video about, us having to lose the house through no fault of our own. It's just circumstances, and it is what it is. It happens. So I'm hoping that when we move, that it's going to be in the country, and there will be enough land and in a location where I can have my chickens. And these things take time. I've heard that it could be 6 months. I've heard that it can take upwards of 3 years. I don't know. So, time
It
will
reminds
tell.
me a lot of Prepper News, who you also know.
Yes.
Prepper
Mhm.
Nurse One, who we went to visit not too long ago.
Yeah.
Losing a house and going to a homestead and starting over again. It's just so common anymore.
Yeah, it's just circumstances. If my house was in a different town, a better location, maybe things wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
But the town that I'm in, it's not a good location, so the value's just not there.
I think it's often a life change that causes us, many of us, to go off the grid or going to homesteading. I've talked to a lot of homesteaders, and I get emails and private messages and letters from people, a lot. Thank you all, by the way, for being there for me as well. But I get a lot of messages from people talking about, often they tell me I gave them the courage to make a new start. Because I lost everything.
Yeah.
I lost my job and lost my home and went into homesteading.
And if you can do it, hey, anybody can do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did it with nothing. I suffered.
Yeah.
But I would never give that up.
Yeah, and it's taken you a while, and you're still not there. I don't know if anybody's really there, you know. But, it's a work in progress. It takes time.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize how much time it takes to build from scratch.
Especially recycled materials.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And what? Look around this. I can't believe that, I had help with the framing, but I can't believe that I put this up. And it's holding out the weather. For 2 years, it's holding out the weather. This is going on the third, what is it? I think July is when I started 2 years ago.
Has it been that long?
So it'll be the third winter this year.
Wow.
Yep, because I had the roof on before winter, and it was holding out the weather before winter. So this will be the third winter.
And I haven't fallen through the floor yet.
It's I mean, it's all good.
Good and solid, yeah.
Yeah, and almost, I mean, everything here is all recycled materials. The kitchen is all recycled materials. It's all, the windows and doors are all recycled materials. It's beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
You've got to look around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Got a beautiful piece of land.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of rocks. Lots of rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
How many people ask me that, they're telling me I should dig. Do you think we can drop posts in the ground?
Not with you would have great difficulty. You'd have to do like what 50 ducks in a hot tub did. He had to use a backhoe. Okay, because he has rocks.
Yeah. You're
And
not going to dig
No.
here with, even those augers are not going to dig
no,
here.
you need a backhoe.
When I was out doing the goat pen, there's a boulder, there's a 4-foot area where I couldn't get a stake in. There's a boulder down there about 6 inches deep, and no matter where, for 4 feet, I kept hitting that boulder.
Yeah, and it could be like what you've got popping
It
out
could
of
be
the ground.
that big. That's the problem.
So there's no way you can do it unless you have a jackhammer. And I'm not talking to, kind of the man stands there and vibrates like, I'm the mechanical
deep
ones.
in. Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't realize, unless you're here and you've seen the property and you've seen it with your eyes, there's boulders out here as big as these rocks underground.
Yeah.
Some are partly showing, some are underneath, and there's smaller rocks. You've seen me try to till this land, and I think if that hadn't been broken up by farm equipment years ago,
Yeah.
I would never have gotten this done.
No, but you're still finding rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris and I keep laughing about how, well, not always laughing, but we'll clear out all the rocks where we work every day, and I'll be walking along and trip on another rock.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do work themselves.
Yes, they do.
They work themselves out.
Yes. The freeze and thaw cycle.
Yeah.
That is what pushes the rocks up.
Yep. And it is a constantly moving thing, so you're always finding more rocks. Every spring when I mow the lawn, I've got to take the rocks out. Because
Well, look
there's
at
more.
the bumper crop of rocks you got. You know people pay big bucks for those rocks
I
in
know,
places.
right?
Yeah.
I know.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of resources out here. There's rock walls all throughout the property.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it, some of them.
Oh, yeah.
And it is beautiful. And it's a piece of history, though.
Oh, yeah. And we just imagine the manpower. And a lot of these rock walls were before there was machinery to do the job.
It was all manual labor. I checked the history of this area, and it was about the 1700s. This was all cattle land,
Look,
cow
and
pasture.
look, I was commenting to you about the trees. You don't have old growth, so you know that this was at one time farmland that was just allowed to just go back to nature. You know? So, I mean, most of the trees, they're like that big around. I think there was a few that maybe were like that big around, but not very many.
Yeah. There's some decent oaks and a couple nice cedars.
Yeah.
You can find some old stumps. I think this place was logged out. I showed you the bulldozer paths where we walked on some of those old dozer trails. I think this place was logged out maybe 70 years ago, 60 years. I don't know how old these trees are, but you could tell.
My friend could tell you better.
You could tell this was logged out.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I can't really sell the firewood. A lot of people say, why don't you sell the firewood? Melanie, could you please chase the turkeys out of the garden? It's an ongoing thing here. The turkeys are in the garden. I love them, but anyway, people say we can sell the firewood, but the trees aren't that big, so nobody wants to pay for young growth. And so it's hard to find someone.
Yeah, usually they like them about like that. I mean, some people might. It depends on how desperate they are, I guess.
Well, that's why I think the loggers left here, because they were cutting down more spindly stuff to get to the big stuff. Then they just didn't want to mess with it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't really give me reasons, but I'm guessing now that we're out here doing it ourselves, it's a lot.
I wasn't impressed with them.
I don't know. I really don't know. Hey, they helped me a little bit. It didn't cost me a cent.
Yeah.
Who am I to complain?
Except for some sweat.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
you gotta clean up their mess.
we had to do that anyway. So honestly, I don't see any harm done.
All right.
Honestly, they didn't hurt me. I didn't pay a cent, and I've got a clearing that it's a start. Now I've got a place to drop trees into. I didn't have that before. Makes it easier for me.
There you go.
So, and you've seen how Chris cleaned that up. It's beautiful back there. What he did.
Yes, he's been doing a nice job there.
So that's nice. Oh, speaking of the beauty, what do you think of what Melanie put into this place already?
Oh yeah. I was telling him earlier that I was commenting to Melanie how she did a much better job of organizing the cabinets than Troy did.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that comment. I was thinking more about the flowers outside.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking.
They were looking at the garden and all the flowers out here.
The garden's coming along nicely.
The two rock beds with
it looks very nice. We were going over the herbs you've got growing in there and stuff like that.
We have a good start. A very good
yeah.
start. Now, once we get expanding the gardens out back, we're going to take some of these herbs and spread them out more.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these, like the thyme, is that big around.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot more space.
You had a few that were not doing so good, but I think looking at them with the trees that you're taking out,
it'll help.
They're getting more sun because it looked like they were reaching for the sun.
Yeah.
So I think that is definitely going to help.
I think so. And also, we are going to have to next year when we start building our raised beds and our winding pathways, we're going to have to study with so many different herbs we do have, there's different types of soil.
Right.
That each one likes. So we're going to have to really start studying about the soil for each and every type of plant.
Oh, yeah.
and it's gonna be a big job,
Yeah.
but it'll be worthwhile in the end.
And these things take time too.
Oh yeah.
And each year your garden will get better because you
Of
will
course.
learn something
Yep.
from that year and go on and learn something for the next year and the next year.
Yep.
And each year you'll make improvements. When
Yeah.
I had my garden up in Canada, I started a plot that was like maybe 4 by, well, maybe it was 5 by 5, just a small one. And I turned that soil by hand with a shovel. That's how my first garden was.
Yeah.
And I only planted a few things. I didn't get a lot out of it,
Yeah.
but I learned from it.
Yep.
And you do the same thing. Yeah, yours is bigger than that when
Yeah.
my first one. But before we left there, I was almost to the point where I was growing enough food out of that garden for my family.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but it takes time. You can't
Yeah.
rush it.
And this is a different climate and a different environment than where I grew up. I grew up with gardens.
Mm-hmm.
We had a garden, I think 4 times the size of this here, right? And it was massive.
Yeah.
And it fed our family though.
Yeah.
And there were 4 of us, and we somehow managed that garden.
Yeah.
But that was Michigan, and
Yes.
here's New York. There's different bugs. There's
Yes.
different pests. There's different
Yes.
weather.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of powdery mildew till I came here and saw the things molding on me. My plants are dying,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and so there's a lot of different things. So as you saw, I started out with the I think 4 or 5 raised beds, and then expanded a little bit each year. And a lot of people say it's a failure, but I think as long as I'm moving forward,
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, we have been eating from this.
Oh yeah.
Melanie makes entire meals out of our garden.
Oh yeah.
So-
She picked several things out there today.
Yeah.
You know, and we were looking at checking out the green beans. The green beans look like they're about ready
Oh,
to be
there
picked.
we got
Yeah.
another harvest coming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
And then I don't know. I haven't checked the peas in a while. They looked like they were drying up last time I was out there. But
I didn't notice the peas.
we've been running around quite a bit, Chris and I, in the forest. So I haven't been out in the garden much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And Melanie and I had a nice time in the garden.
I keep looking out because the chickens were out on the backside coming into the garden. We're gonna be clipping some wings.
Chickens will keep you hopping.
Yeah.